As Suella Braverman continues to push her new illegal migration bill in Parliament, certain groups are lashing out, including the United Nations. Oh no, the UN are not happy about what's going on in British politics. So, the last couple of days we've been talking about the Home Office's new bill, the new illegal migration bill, which is there to ban illegal entry, especially the small boats. And we've already covered that, and some of the good things about it, at least on paper, and some of the skepticism. We have to actually wait for it to happen before we celebrate, and also some of the main problems, because it's still linked to some of these international treaties and agreements we've signed decades ago, from the UN Refugee Convention to the European Convention of Human Rights, and everything else we have. And this is going to be a problem, but Suella Braverman remains confident. She continues to battle the left-wing media, the left-wing charities, the so-called human rights charities and lawyers. European Union are also having a bit of an emotional breakdown, which we're going to talk about today on the channel. But let's talk about the United Nations. Oh dear God. Okay, the UN Refugee Agency, that have been one of the most incompetent organizations on earth and in the last few years, even though they keep coming out to say, we have great intentions, we are here to serve humanity. You haven't done anything about those who are actually in need, and you keep pushing for policies that put people's lives at risk to take dangerous routes, who are economic migrants, who have to pretend to be asylum seekers just to get to a place where they could have a better life. The whole world is completely not equal, and this level playing field that the EU keeps pushing for is not really a level playing field. Nobody moves from the west to go east. Everyone comes from east to west. And this whole chaotic situation with globalism is not really creating an equal global nation states. It's not really working. Having said that, let's go to the UN Refugee Agency. They've released a very, very angry statement. Very diplomatic, but very disappointing, because they're not happy with Suella Braverman. They've said that the UN Refugee Agency is profoundly concerned by the asylum bill introduced by the UK government to the House of Commons. In its current form, the bill compels the Home Secretary to deny access to the UK asylum system to those who arrive irregularly. Hang on, it's not really stopping access to the asylum system. You can still seek asylum. You just shouldn't really cross the border illegally. But they don't really understand that part of it, because they don't really care about the actual asylum system. The legislation, if passed, would amount to an asylum ban. It's not an asylum ban. Oh God, it's an entry ban. Anyway, so like the right to seek refugee protection in the United Kingdom for those who arrive basically on small boats, no matter how genuine or compelling the claims it may be, and with no consideration of their individual circumstances. It's because they're mixed with all the others who are economic migrants, so it's undermining those who are actually in need. So if you really want to support those who are genuine asylum seekers, you guys at the UN should also be on the same side as us. You need to stop the economic migrants who are taking advantage of this mechanism, so you could actually have people who really need help to actually be supported, not just by the UK, all the other countries, all the safe countries like France who are underway before they get here. Why are you not pushing for them to focus on asylum seeking? So, keep saying that the effect of the bill in this form would be to deny protection to many asylum seekers in need of safety and protection and blah, blah, blah. And they keep focusing on... There's no mention of how this is basically a people smugglers criminal network. There's no criticism of France not tackling that. It's just really interesting, because you wonder why you have all these UN employees and activists who are there in all these so-called refugee camps and migrant camps across Europe. But so they should know, they should be experts. Somehow they turn the blind eye. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, then the next page they say the UN will continue to work with the British government to expand safe, regular pathways for refugees to reach the UK, including through resettlements. While critical, these remain very limited and can substitute for access to asylum. The UN also welcomes the UK's enhanced dialogue with the French and encourages efforts to enhance regional cooperation with its European neighbors to address the current challenges. And then they said, we urge the government and all the MPs and peers to reconsider the bill and instead pursue a more humane and practical policy. Who are you to urge anybody? Who are you guys? Who elected you to urge our elected politicians? This is globalization on steroid. There's no problem with internationalism on a very small scale to cooperate with the world, to have free trade agreements, but we don't really want to be told what to do. Nobody elected you. We can't hold you to account. There's no transparency or accountability. And we have to just listen to you guys, apparently. I mean, we don't have to, but they do it through the back door. They get you to sign all these treaties and agreements, and they say, well, international law means nothing. When you don't really have an independent referee to judge it. Our common law should be supreme. But obviously, we've completely undermined the whole system, the judiciary in this country over the last few decades, especially thanks to Sir Tony Blair and his Supreme Court. Anyway, let me know what you think in the conversation. Do you think that the UN will eventually surrender and accept that their conventions and all their treaties are out of date? Or do you think that the UK government will eventually cave in and say, oops, we can't do this? We're going to take a break for half an hour. We're going to come back with more updates for you guys. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.